Just wanted to shoot a quick video on how to remove the coolant expansion tank on the 997 Porsche Carrera S 3.8 liter engine. This applies for pretty much any 997.1.1. That is the critical note there. Pelican Parts has a video online for the 997.2, the DFI engine, and they make it look really easy. On the 0.1, it is not that easy. So I want to summarize real quick before I just start looping some video in. That video will help a little bit, but you're going to have to pretty much remove the air box. You're going to then have to remove all of the coolant hoses. You're going to have to actually remove the driver muffler off the car. You're going to have to remove all the connections to all the coil packs. You're going to have to remove all the connections to, there's some other sensors there. You're going to have to remove some sensors that go into the fuel injectors. There is so the fuel rail on the driver's side of the car, okay, and you'll see it coming in later in this video. It has this little bus, this little plastic runner, and has all these wires coming off it. You're going to have to pull it up, and any wire that shoots off that bus, disconnect it, because you're going to have to drop the engine down more than what the nuts will allow. So there's two engine mounts in the rear, driver, passenger side, and some people say, oh, just loosen the nuts, maybe leave 3 threads left and just drop the engine on those nuts and you'll be good to go. Incorrect. You will have to remove both nuts, drop the engine down maybe 2 inches, and even then, even with all those wires disconnected, everything out of the way, it is a pain in the ass to get the coolant tank out. I think the joke I've got going here is everything must go. So any coolant line in the area, any electrical line in the area, vacuum line, et cetera, the fuel line, yada, yada, pull it all off. And what we're going to do is you're going to zip tie it all together and just zip tie it to as far to the passenger side of the car as you can. And that should give you the clearance you'll need to remove the coolant tank out of the car. I just did the entire job just now. So I just wanted to shoot a quick video on what's helped, what didn't help, but the things that the Pelican Parts video did not cover were removing the coil pack wires and some other ignition and fill wires as well, and some other sensors, etc. So it's pretty in depth. It's not too bad. It just takes a while, and you're going to be jamming that coolant tank, in. It's going to get snagged on wires and hoses and stuff, and everything gets in the way. So as much as you can remove off the car, the better you're going to be. So now I'm going to start playing the video of each step I took to remove the coolant tank. 997.1 Carrera S coolant tank removal. Got the engine pretty much jacked up. There's these 2 bolts. There's one right here. And on the other side of the engine, there's one right here. And that, so you're going to loosen this. See this gap right here? Loosen this nut. That allows the engine to drop down. So it's got a motorcycle jack here supporting the drain pan. Got a backup jack under there in case it all goes south. First thing I did, can remove this line right here. That allows the engine to drop down so we can then pull this tank out. So I'll be documenting this process. Went ahead and disconnected this hose right here, old W40, and we'll let it right out. I'm gonna go and take that little bracket off right there just to kind of get some working space for this fuel line. It's really giving me there's a white. See if I can show you the top. So there's that white button you gotta push down. It's kind of hard to get to. All right, so there's this. Let's see if we can get in here. There's the bracket right here that holds this rubber fuel hose in. So get the hose out of there, and you can kind of free the fuel line hose, the hard one, from the top. That'll give you some room to kind of twist this guy around, etc. And then there's this button on top. Okay. That's him. Push him down and maybe a little W40 in there as well, and like work it out, and it'll come out. It is tough though. All right, now we're gonna go and do this this top hose right here. Remove this clamp, and we're gonna pull this hose right out. Don't listen to this guy. All right, where are we at? We got this hose right here. Okay, pull him off. Okay, cool. Out of the way. All right, now we're gonna remove this guy right here, that clamp. You can see this hose right here. We're gonna remove completely. Next thing we're gonna do is get this sensor right here. We're gonna turn it counterclockwise and pull it straight out. There's a sensor right here. You're gonna turn it clockwise and pull it straight out. That's your coolant level sensor. Next, we went ahead and removed it. Didn't want to damage this somewhat looking fragile piece. We'll save him for later. Let me go ahead and remove this 10 millimeter right here. Remove that. To get access to slide this out towards the passenger side, we're gonna have to remove the rest of this hose right here. So this clip, pull it out. Let's go from there. All right, guys, we are going to remove this fuel injector cable right there, this guy, to get more access. All right, went ahead and removed this guy as well. We need to drop this fuel connector like rail system. So we're gonna go, we popped off this guy right here, that sensor. We're gonna go under the car. And we are gonna pop off these guys as well. There should be 3 of them. Let's see. So, this guy. Okay. We get him off. All right, we're gonna remove this coolant pipe as well. Use a little pry tool. Okay. Pry this up, and then you can pull this out. A lot of coolant's gonna fall, so yeah. All right, we're also gonna remove this clip right here. All right, there's this triangle piece on the left side of the intake runners. This little clip right here, that clips into the intake runner. Just pull at this kind of like 45-degree angle. This is a fuel injector connector. It goes on this rearmost cylinder. Fuel injector, pull him out as well. The name of the game here is going to be to get this black rail plastic as close to the intake runners as possible. All right, in the theme of everything must go, coil pack sensors out, out, out. Send all sensors on that fucking rail out, so we can get that plastic rail out and over. All right, now you can see this whole, can you see? I'm trying here. This whole plastic rail that holds all these connectors, it's free to move now. So pick it up, get as close to this plenum, the intake runners as possible. So get just up and over. Gentlemen, at this point, slide it over. Keep going and wiggle her out. She came out. Keep an eye on this nipple right here. It gets snagged on pretty much everything. But, oops, my bad. Yeah, loosen everything. By the way, loosening that fuel rail bolt right there, you don't gotta do that. But this big plastic rail, all these wires, I gotta get pushed back. All right, now the fun part. Let's go install the new one. Allegedly, apparently it's gonna go straight in. I'm skeptical. Why are we here? Look at these. Look at these things. Okay, look. That right there is a gnarly crack. So anyways, yep, that's why we're here, replacing that thing. I was leaking a shitload of coolant. All right, guys. So these nuts right here that we loosened up, you gotta remove these actually to get enough clearance from the engine drop to get the new tank in, okay? Or the old tank out. So I would recommend removing those nuts completely, and then let's go from there. All right, guys, we're about to put the coolant tank back in. I just want to show you how far I've actually dropped this engine down. Let's see where we can. So you can see that there's the gap. So the bolt used to show out right here, and you can see in this gap. So I've probably dropped maybe like an inch or two, just to get myself some more clearance. So this should be enough to get this tank put back in. All right, during the reassembly, I took this pipe out here. It kind of was fed right in there. It's just really getting in the way of the reassembly of the tank. So let's try this out again. One thing I also did was a lot of zip ties. So zip tying all these cables and just getting them to the right side of the engine as far as possible is going to help us out. All right, even with all this stuff, pulled to the side here, it is extremely tight to get this tank in. Definitely you're gonna be fighting with it. But yeah, getting it slid into this black plastic sleeve here, this nut thing right here as well. Yeah, at this point we're gonna undo all these cable ties and start reinstalling all of the hoses. So I'm gonna start with these coolant hoses down here, as well as doing all the wiring, all the injector wires, the coil packs, some other wires down here, get this all in place. Then we're gonna go attach this plastic bar back to the fuel rail in there. So yeah, this was tight, super tight. Do not think this is gonna be an easy in and out. Again, this is how low I have the engine dropped. You guys can see here for reference. So just a little heads up. Got a little jack just in case it keeps going. But yeah, so hope this helps out.